welcome to another edition of Trade Talk TV. Today we've got Rory from Equinix in the office. Rory, thanks for coming in.
Welcome.
Today we're going to talk about infrastructure, proper infrastructure, what we actually build the industry on top of. And Rory's in here today to talk about Equinix and their role in that. So Rory, just explain what you do at Equinix and a brief overview of the company before we talk about the sort of nuts and bolts.
So I work within the marketing department at Equinix. We're a global data center and interconnection platform, and my job is to look at market development opportunities, propositions, so look at offers and how we develop and position ourselves to be relevant for the industry. But Equinix is a big data center company and interconnection platform. We have over 100 data centers around the world. We have about 4,600 companies, and what they do is that they choose to deploy their technology platforms of all different persuasions to Equinix.
Now, you've been described as the platform behind the platform behind the platform. You're actually the layer that everything's built on. Can you just explain where you sit in the ecosystem and how important you are to making sort of the real-time sort of ecosystem work?
Yeah, so I mean, broadly, companies, I say of all persuasions, whatever discipline they're in, will use us to put their technology platform in a third-party, multi-tenant data center. So that means that they could choose, and back in the day, they would choose to put their technology platform in the basement as a classic thing. And people grow up, but
server in the basement, yeah.
Server in the basement, you could go down there, get your IT guy to give it a good old kick. Make sure it's working and everyone's happy.
A free copy of Linux in this room.
That's right. So, but things have evolved, and people understand that. Whereas you can't rely on that anymore. You need a better infrastructure to deploy your mission-critical applications. So the rise of the data center has, as of the last sort of 10, 15 years, really gone from sort of a mid-term ambition to a very long-term size. And Equinix has ridden that, crested that wave, so we're deployed over the world. And what we are literally state-of-the-art buildings all around the world, heavily connected to networks, so that companies can deploy their technology and use us to really expand their business. But it's sort of gone from it being a third-party data center, we understand that, it's important, it's a safe and secure place to deploy our tech, to actually, hang on a minute, this is more of a strategic choice now, because where I decide to deploy my technology platform can give me advantage. And this is where I think we're starting to play a big role now in programmatic and advertising technology and real-time bidding.
And is that, I mean, the location is obviously important because of latency and obviously, the milliseconds of the bidding process. So can you sort of give me, you've done some sort of a overview of the ecosystem, the complex ecosystem. Can you draw that out and see where you sit in the middle of that and how companies work with you basically? Yeah,
so I guess if we start off on a sort of very simple basis of what it was, and if you have your advertiser here and have your publisher here, teaching you some cakes here, but this is the way it used to be, that the advertiser would talk to the publisher and there'd be some sort of deal done. But what's happened is that you have now more people in the ecosystem, so there are more sort of complex players. So not terribly diagrammatic, but you have a notion that here's an ad exchange perhaps up here, and maybe a classic ad network here. But it's not just that. Then you might have your, let's say here, a demand side platform, and maybe here a kind of sell side platform. But actually, you know what? There's also sort of data aggregators of all persuasions who are helping here. So what you have now is some sort of very complex connectivity model where people are kind of talking to each other and wanting to exchange information, because within 100 milliseconds, as we've said, the real-time bidding auction has to happen. And that's a very small amount of time if you're going to be talking to different types of data aggregators to get your bid in, to win that, to display to the website in which your ad is placed. So what Equinix does is this bit here. So we're sort of around here, and what we say is that, look, the way to really improve your bidding time is to locate your technology platforms close to each other. And it's sort of the lure of the hub, is that once you get companies located close to each other, they can connect closer and therefore connect faster. And that's really what it's all about, and that we kind of learned from the high frequency financial trading in that sense, and that's exactly how that happened. And advertising, albeit with a slightly different output in terms of an ad appearing on a website or what have you, but nonetheless, if they've got to meet the 100 milliseconds time frame, then locating close to each other means they can connect close to each other and they can connect quicker.
So location in the different regions is important then?
Yeah, location in that sense. And around the globe there are a number of technology hubs for advertising, especially in real-time bidding and programmatic. So in Europe, Amsterdam has emerged as the...
It seems to be the hub of choice in Europe, or
So we have some great facilities there, but also saying West Coast, East Coast, USA, Far East, Hong Kong, Singapore, etc. When we tested this with Brightroll, and we have a case study on this on our website, Equinix.com, but people can go and look at that. But we tested that and they were working with rocket fuel. And what they did, once they relocated their platform, they saw that their latency improved by something like 80%.
Which is a
huge improvement. And then the reality is where the kind of rubber hits the road is that their bids improved by 48%, which basically means they got more bids in, they're able to do a lot more, and of course, therefore, will make more money. So not only are we a kind of safe and secure place to put your technology, because that's still important, it's still going to be a good state-of-the-art building, best-of-breed company, but actually we're able to connect you. And the way in which we connect is also evolving as well.
Okay. And in terms of criteria for working with a company like yourself, how big do you have to be, or what size you have to be, and how do you actually work with Equinix?
Well, we're a very classic data center from that point of view. We're not a managed hosting company. We're neutral, so we have different types of ad exchanges, different types of demand side, sell side platforms, data aggregators working with us. We are completely neutral from that point of view. The classic way in which people come for us, so they buy space and power. They buy a spot within the data center. We help connect them. But it's a connectivity where we start to become a little bit more than just a place to put your kit. Because we can say, okay, how do you want to connect now to your partners around this ecosystem? And we can offer what we call a direct connect, which is literally using fiber within the data center from a rack of servers here to a rack of servers there. And it is actually the quickest way to connect. It's all about physics. I mean, it's a joke. Physics is the law here. You really are going to connect quicker.
So these milliseconds are obviously crucial in winning bids and serving ads and winning the auction effectively. Yes. Being closer to your partners is going to help things improve things for you in terms of deliverability.
Yeah, absolutely. And people will direct connect through our own fibre, or they'll choose networks, and we can advise on which networks. If it's AT&T, Verizon, BT, whoever, to say, well, actually, in this case, that network is going to give you a better connectivity there. Or they can work with internet exchanges, which again are exchanges which live within our data center as well. And we can say, well, okay, if you go to this internet exchange, you've got a choice of partners, a choice of networks. So we offer a lot of options and choice for companies to connect to their partners in whatever way they want. Some will do it just over the internet. The internet is still the most popular way, but also through a direct connect. And I think that's where things are changing even more as people understand that. How quick you can connect to your partners. It's saying, okay, how can we really optimize that? And I think direct connect, as we call it, is probably the best way.
Okay, Rory, thanks for that overview of the proper infrastructure layer in the ad technology real-time ecosystem. And we look forward to hearing more from you in the coming months on ExchangeWire and Trader Talk TV.
Thank you very much.
So that was Trader Talk TV, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.